games and Dune, I'll admit to being a bit skeptical about an open-world survival game that takes place on the famously barren planet of Arrakis.
Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical
but after
too.
an hour-long presentation of the upcoming Dune Awakening, those concerns have disappeared entirely.
Okay.
Based on the hands-off showcasing of what's to come when this MMO survival game hits early access later this year, it certainly appears that developer Funcom has taken their hard-won learnings from the underrated Conan Exiles and applied it to this ambitious multiplayer
I heard good things about
set in one of
Conan
sci-fi's
Exiles.
most beloved galaxies. Whether it was the impressively detailed character creation options, the intricate RPG systems filled with skill trees and craftables, or the absolute insanity of trying to outrun a Shai-Hulud or escape a massive sandstorm, Dune Awakening appears to be on track to become the sci-fi survival game I've always dreamt of, and I cannot wait to get...
See, one of the best things you can do about like showcasing a video game is showing just gameplay. Literally just showing gameplay will that's the best way. Because you're showing, one, the product, but two, you're confident in what you're showing off to everybody. So I think like gameplay is the best thing you could see. However, everybody's just one cinematic away from pre-ordering a game. That's the problem right now with the gaming industry is. But I think like overall, just like good games will just end up prevailing.
Get my hands on it.
Arrakis is a test.
Dune Awakening hands-on preview.
Few survive.
Oh man, that guy needs some milk.
How do you make a survival game set in an utterly desolate wasteland of sand? Well, according to Funcom, the answer lies in the hidden spaces of Arrakis.
Yeah.
Described in Frank Herbert's novels, these hidden pockets of shade and refuge are home to life and microbiomes that will be altogether unfamiliar to those who have only seen the movies. But Dune Awakening hopes to lean pretty heavily on their existence to fill the massive desert with things for players to do. Whether that be finding a pocket of shelter to build a base in,
now this is an MMO
cave that's home to hostile creatures, or taking down remote enemy bases in search of loot and resources. In fact, the wide-open empty spaces filled with hot sand might be more of an asset than a hindrance, as it allows for a heat stroke mechanic where players are punished for spending time in direct sunlight with some pretty devastating debuffs.
Oh my gosh.
Meaning players will instead need to dart from shelter to shelter, battling the elements as they explore the world and its many hidden spaces.
Is it like PvP? Do you have to like fight against other players? It's so hard to make a worm not look like a penis, and I think they did a good job there.
That is dodging sandworms of Arrakis, players will need to remain on the move constantly and develop strategies for managing their water reserves, protecting against the heat, and of course, engaging in the never-ending struggle for all-important spice.
That sounds good.
In one leg of the demo, players work together to claim a massive deposit of spice while keeping an eye out for the ever-looming threat of the Shai-Hulud, drawn to their activity in the desert. Only to be unexpectedly overwhelmed by a sandstorm instead.
I think they said something about like not being able to kill the sandworms in this game. Like they're just, you have to just run from them.
The group of players work together to infiltrate a high-level facility filled with rare materials and dangerous enemies, making sure to harvest the blood of fallen baddies to replenish their rapidly depleting water reserves.
Metal. That
Before
ship
the demo,
looks sick.
I had a lot of questions about how a Dune survival game would even work without becoming extremely monotonous in short order.
Yeah, that's how most MMOs would feel.
Why in the heck someone hadn't made one sooner? Seeing all...
I mean, that's not the real question. The real thing is the fact that like it's got to be good, because anyone can easily make a Dune game. And let me tell you, I bet a lot of them would be bad.
All the clever ways Dune Awakening plans to make brilliant use of Dune's unique lore made me a believer. Beyond the major things Dune Awakening aims to get right, the demo also included all these little details that took my hype to the next level, like how they showed off an incredibly detailed character creation engine that included things like choosing your home planet and origin to decide some of your starting traits and aspects of your appearance, or how the in-depth skill trees and
just be
crafting
Atreides.
system allowed you to
be
drastically
a great
augment
pilot.
your playstyle from a telekinetic mentalist with a bag of supernatural tricks to run-and-gun soldiers with a bag of high explosives.
Wait, he said
As someone who
augment
spent
it?
a
So you
good
can just
deal of
switch it on the
time with
fly?
Dune
Good.
tabletop RPG, dreaming up the
hate when you get
characters
stuck
I'd
in
like
a
to portray
class.
in that universe, this looks like it'll scratch an itch I've had for decades, and I absolutely cannot wait to get my hands on it when it hits early access later this year.
Arrakis is a test. Few survive it. But the humans that do
Oh, snap.
awaken.
He's got
For
the
more,
blue
check out our
eyes.
recent
He's got the blue eyes. Okay, so this is the game that I didn't think, would do good. But the more I see of it, the cooler and more fun it looks. And it also looks like it's made by people who really want to make it shine. It was made by the ones that made the Conan survival game, which I've only heard good things about. I've never played before, but I'm definitely going to check out the Dune Awakening game right here because it does look like something that would be right up my alley. It is interesting that it's an MMO. That's kind of the part that scares me a little bit. I don't want things to become tedious and monotonous, but it looks more like an RPG than an MMO. So we got to see more things about this, and I'm excited to get into it myself.